Hello, what you want? Cause out there, how you doing? Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. I say the things on here that nobody dares say. Today, we are joined by legendary Premier League footballer, £1 million transfers, and former British light welterweight champion, Curtis, the Troll Hunter Woodhouse.
Hey, don't forget my English title, Russ.
English title and a British title, and you were a footballer. Well done, Kurt.
Yeah, listen. A lot of people forget my English title. Am I the right way, or do I need to change my phone
No, you
around?
need to turn around, mate. You like all that's the one, Kurt.
Yeah, a lot of people forget my English title win. That was one of my hardest fights. Was against Dave Ryan at the Magna. That was a hard fight. Dave Ryan was a tough man. Very, very hard man. And people forget to mention that English title, but it's what I'm really proud of.
What about that Dale? Who is it who you fought? What was his second name? Were you nutted?
Oh, just give me a shiver down my spine. Dale Miles.
Dale Niall. Oh, God.
As,
That were
as
an
you
hard
would
night, Kurt.
as you would say, Russ, he put me on button moon.
Did he, mate? Oh, my God. It was solid
he
in,
could
wasn't
he could punch him, mate, and he was massive for the weight. Absolutely huge for the weight.
he? Everybody was scared to death of him, weren't they?
Yeah, but
One of them underrated fighters, Kurt, that never achieved his full potential, do you think?
well, the problem he had, Russ, is he wasn't a massive name. He was a southpaw, and he could really punch. So unless
Yeah,
you had to fight him, you didn't fight him. And unfortunately, I got nominated to fight him for an eliminator for the British title.
yeah.
So if you get put into that, I'd fight King Kong for an eliminator for the British title. So I won't,
Yeah.
I wasn't brilliant, Russ, but I wasn't one of them that had run away either. So if you mandate me to fight somebody, there'll be
Yeah.
no ducking and diving. We'll get in and have a go. And to be fair, up until the fifth or sixth round, I think when he stopped me, it was an absolute war.
Yeah, one mate over there, mate.
We both took some hammer, but he just punched too hard, mate. He could really punch.
I remember him going back to the corner and he said, he's just effing nutted me.
I did. I was losing, and I could feel every time he hit me, he was shaking me down to my boots. So I thought I'm gonna have to stick nut on him here. I'll do something to try and change the tide. So I headbutted him, opened up his eye, and I thought, here we go, game on now. But yeah, walked onto a big one.
Do you feel, Kurt, that your English title gets overshadowed because the British title's like the holy grail for everybody that turns pro in the UK?
Yeah, no, definitely. So everyone just talks about the, like I said, being British champion, but like I said,
Yeah.
it does. It people don't even talk about that English title.
And that
Probably
meant a
that's
lot to
probably
you, didn't it, Kurt, that belt when you got that English?
meant a hell of a lot to me because that was my first ever kind of recognised title.
Mm.
And I'll be honest, after that fight, a lot of people around me in my circle were saying like maybe it's time to hang them up now, because I wasn't Floyd Mayweather. I wasn't one of them that got out of the way of many punches, and I was kind of coming to the end a little bit. And yeah, that fight meant a hell of a lot to me. That did. Dave Ryan, I would say that was actually probably my hardest fight. That or Dale Miles was my
Yeah.
hardest fight. Obviously, my biggest one was Darren Hamilton, but my hardest fight was probably against Dave Ryan for the English title.
I know I gave your trainer a bit of stick, but do you think he don't get the credit for what he did with you?
I mean, the job he did with me was fantastic. And
Yeah.
and to be fair to Dave, I've taken a lot from Dave of how I try and maneuver my fighters now. Because
Yeah.
the beauty about Dave, what Dave gave me was a safety net of, listen, we're going to take some hard fights, and if you lose, I'll bring you back.
Yeah.
And that's good for a fighter to have that confidence to think, you know what, if it don't go my way, I'll be back out in 8 or 9 weeks and we'll go again. And Dave gave me that. I think the job Dave did as my trainer and manager, if you're rating it out of 10, it has to be an 11. If we're going to be
Yeah.
honest.
Well, you weren't
Um,
fancied your two, were you, to really go anywhere, were you? Within like the boxing community circle, you know what I mean, don't you?
no, and rightfully so. Like I said, I didn't put a
Yeah.
pair of gloves on until I was 26, so why would I be fancied? But Dave put a lot of time and effort into me. Um, and yeah, we're fully invested in the journey and done a fantastic job. Yeah, we've done a lot together, me and Dave. Definitely underrated partnership.
You it pro sorry, do you believe then, Kurt, that hard work does pay off? Because there's obviously fighters like you. You're like a scrapper type of fighter. You're not a boxer, a slickster, are you? You can go in and have a tear up, and you don't get longevity at that, as you know. But do you feel that hard work overcomes them that don't put the hard work in but have skills? Do you think eventually?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes I've found in all sports, not just boxing, the ones that have the most amount of talent normally have the least work ethic because
Yeah,
it all comes a little bit too easy for them. So they
yeah,
know that they can still beat loads of people with only going 50, 60%.
yeah,
Whereas and you know what, I was like that at football, Russ, without sounding too arrogant. I could go out Monday to Friday on the lash, still turn up Saturday afternoon and have a good game because I was
yeah,
talented. I was naturally gifted. Whereas in boxing, I was the other end of the spectrum. I needed to be 100% dedicated and on it and do my runs and do my hard spars,
yeah,
make sure my
yeah,
diet was on point just to be able to compete. Um, so, yeah, sometimes talent is wasted on some people. I look at some of my fighters that I train, I'm like, wow, I'd do anything to have a tenth of your talent. But let's see what it's like when the shit hits the fan, as they say. Let's see how big the gonads are.
and you
That's when you
start
find
going
out.
by round eight and that, and you put your foot down because you're fit. Like and that, and you drag these sort of guys, the slicksters or them with talent. They tend to get drowned, don't they? Late on, don't they?
Yeah, and the ones that can put the two together, the talent
Oh,
alongside the work ethic, that they end up special fighters. I always look at fighters out of camp, and that's when I
yeah,
look at them and see like what's your dedication like out of camp. And all the top ones, you look at your Mayweathers, you never see him overweight. You look at Crawford now. When do you ever see Crawford out of shape? He's always in the gym all year round. These top guys. Look at Usyk. You don't see
no.
Usyk ballooning up to 18, 19 stone, do you?
He never
He's in
goes
and
above
around.
16 and a half, does he? Only takes half a stone off. In camp, I read an article he did. You know.
Yeah, and even when he's not got a fight coming up, I bet he's in the gym 4 or 5 times a week, shadowboxing, footwork, practice. That it frustrates a lot of professional fighters. Frustrate the life out of me because they only train when 6 weeks before a fight and they're cheating themselves.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, we'll have a little bit of chat about the
Hold on a sec,
heavyweight. Oh,
Charles. Can
sorry.
you get these cats, please? They're making a bloody right. I've got two cats here, Russ. Honestly, kittens, drive me bloody bonkers.
Like
I'm
pets
just getting them
corner.
out. I'm just getting them out of the way now. Yeah, go on, mate. Carry on.
No, well, I thought we'd have a chat about the heavyweights at the moment. Obviously, we've seen Fraser Clark at the weekend. Uh, lovely kid. What do you think? What do you think's happened to Fraser? Olympic bronze medalist. What's going on here?
Well, I had Adrian in training camp with Fraser. They've probably done 7 or 8 spars together. And I've read a lot about Fraser. People saying he wasn't in shape. Mate, he was in shape. I've seen him. I've seen him spar 10, 12 rounds. Then he'd be on the bag. Then he's S&C. Um, really, I fancied him quite big to win that fight, to be honest, because he was looking good. And like I said, he was in very, very, very good shape. But on the night, he probably did too much too early on the night.
Emptied his tank.
Yeah, maybe a little lack of experience over the 12 rounds. I know he's a super experienced fighter, but how many 12 rounders has he had? Not many. And I think he probably went too hard too early.
Yeah,
Um, and it's a shame because he's a very good fighter. I just think he maybe got it wrong on the night, which happens. I've seen his trainer coming in for a lot of stick as well. And like I said, I've been around them for the last 7, 8 weeks, and you know, they were working towards a game plan, they're analysing things after. Everything from my point of view, from the outside looking in, and I'm not biased, Russ, I've got no axe to grind with anyone. From the outside looking in, everything was
yeah,
going really, really well.
yeah.
But as you know, sometimes on fight night, it doesn't really happen. And I do think as well, Jamie TKV is a very, very underrated fighter. Um, so we've got to give him credit. But yeah, I'm gutted for Fraser because he's a really, really good guy. And you want good guys to do well, don't you? I'm sure he'll come back. The heavyweight division is like no other. You are only one win away from being in the big time again. So I hope he can come back.
He's had a bit of stick on talk sport. Paul Smith, he's been quite vocal last few months on there. Now he's a regular. Uh, Paul Smith says he should retire, and the game plan were wrong, and he didn't like what he was hearing in corner from his trainer and that. The rest of them sat on fence on there. What do you make of that? Do you think that's quite harsh?
Well, I think regarding people retiring, I just think it's a complete individual decision.
Yeah,
Me personally, like I said, seeing him in training camp, he's not a shot fighter at all. You know, he was good and he was training a lot of young up and coming kids. The pace was 100 miles an hour. He was giving some, taking some. So I didn't ever walk away from them spars thinking, bloody hell, he's shot to bits. And I have thought that a few times when I've seen Adrian spar some kids. I'm like, oh wow, he's shot to bits. But I didn't get that impression with Fraser. Fraser's, got plenty left in the tank. He just probably got it wrong on fight night, which happens.
he's had 58 rounds as a pro, man.
It's nothing, is it?
No, not really.
But I
Uh,
think I think when you come from the Olympic pedigree that he's had, and probably the contract that he has with Boxer, they'll be paying him a lot of money. They'll want,
yeah,
and I always say this about promoters all the time, they want to rush because they want a return on their investment as soon as possible. But how,
yeah.
how many 12 rounders has Fraser had? He's not had many. He's not
He's
had
had a
many
couple on
rounds.
it. He's had one with Jamie TKV. He's had one with Fabio Wardley, and that were a war, wasn't it?
Two with Fabio. I'm talking more about the training camps rather than the fights. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but he only had a one rounder in rematch, didn't he, with Fabio? I mean, I thought you meant 12 rounds completed, Kurt.
no, I mean like how many training camps he's had where you're
Oh,
doing the
training
12
camps for
rounds.
yeah, probably three in it. Is it three?
Yeah, so
Three or
it's not
four?
many of us. And you know what? It
Yeah,
takes time to build a 12 round engine. You
yeah.
can't just do it in one
A
training
lot of
camp.
it's in here, though, isn't it, Kurt?
A lot of it is, but again, you need to build your engine. It takes time, Russ, and it takes a hell of a lot more than three training camps. I know that much. So
Yeah,
he's probably gone in too early, but it's hard because, like you said, because of his age, his experience, and everyone fancies him to beat Jamie
yeah,
TKV.
yeah. I did. Yeah,
Ideally, he probably needed a couple more before that, but
mm,
he's in deep waters, isn't he? Because of what happened with Fabio Wardley. I mean, I thought he'd beat TKV, and I actually thought he'd stop TKV. And
yeah,
I was shocked at the result myself.
yeah. Okay. What next for TKV?
I mean, it's heavyweights, isn't it? Me personally, if I was him, I would probably try and I'd go big. I'd go big because you can always come back to the British title. If I was him, I'd go and try and make as much money as I possibly can. Dave
Yeah.
Allen beat Johnny Fisher, and they were talking about Dave Allen fighting Deontay
Russian.
Wilder. So if I was Jamie TKV, I'd be trying to get a Wilder, I'd be trying to get a Zhang, I'd be trying to get a Hergovich. I'd try and make my next fight make me a millionaire. That'd be my plan. And if it doesn't go right, it can always come down to what they call British title level.
Yeah,
If you're the best in Britain, you're probably top 10 best in the world right now.
yeah,
That's what I'd
yeah,
do. If I was managing him, I'd say to him, listen, let's try and make you financially secure in 2026. That'd be my plan for TKV.
yeah, yeah. They're talking Rhino, aren't they, in summer in Sheffield for TKV?
Yeah, great fight for both. And like I said,
Both, yeah.
if TKV couldn't secure a big fight, a defense against Dave Allen um, would be good. He'd probably get very well paid for that as well.
Yeah, he'll sell out Sheffield, that won't it?
Yeah, and Dave's desperate to get that British title, isn't he? He's desperate for. Has he boxed for it before?
I don't think so. I think it's just Commonwealth, isn't it? I think he's boxed an
Yeah,
eliminator, hasn't he, before
it
for
wasn't
it, I
Dillian
think.
White. He didn't box Dillian White for it, did he?
No, I don't think so, no.
No. So I know Dave's will be desperate to have a crack at that British title. Jamie TKV would probably fancy that fight as well. So as a defence for him, he'd probably fancy it. It does numbers. I think that's a fight that probably makes sense for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, Usyk and Wilder. Is he spoiling his legacy, Kurt, or is he ticking a box to say I've done everybody in the era?
Yeah, I actually spoke about this yesterday with my son. My son said to me, "Why is Usyk fighting Wilder?" And I said to him, in 10 years' time, no one will remember that Wilder was shot to bits. Everyone will just say, look at Usyk. He wiped out the whole division, beat Wilder, beat AJ, beat beat Fury. Who else is there? That's a three, really, isn't it? That's a three
Yeah.
major belt holders over the last
Daniel
decade.
Dubois.
Yeah, beat Dubois, but Dubois didn't have the title for any long time, did he? But AJ, Fury, and Wilder have kind of dominated the belts over the last 10 years. And Usyk, if he beats Wilder, he's wiped out the whole division. No one talks about Lennox Lewis beating a shot to bits Mike Tyson, do they?
No,
But
no.
but people say Lennox Lewis wiped out the whole division because he did. Lennox beat everybody in his era, and I think Usyk's trying to do the same. I actually really like the fight. I think if I was looking after Usyk, I'd do exactly the same. I'd say, let's go and get Wilder.
Yeah. We'll just finish it off with that.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
and
well
then
when
who was the last heavyweight to wipe out their era was Lennox Lewis. No one's done it since Lennox, and Usyk will be the
Tyson's
next
not done it,
guy.
has he? Tyson and
No,
Joshua haven't done it, have they?
no, they haven't fought each other. None of them beat Usyk. So, if Usyk takes out Wilder, which he probably will, he can then legitimately say, I wiped out the whole division.
Like Ali did, didn't he, over two eras, 60s and 70s, didn't he?
Yeah, all the greats did. Ali did it. Larry Holmes did it. Lennox Lewis did it. Usyk puts his name up with them guys for me. If he wipes out the whole division, and people can
Yeah,
talk about how good the division is it this, is it that? You can only beat the era that you're in.
yeah.
And if he beats Wilder, he's wiped out the whole division.
Well, I mean, for us to go about 13, 14 wins over champions or something in two divisions, it's unheard of, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And a
He's a
lot of them
freak, isn't
undefeated. Yeah, a lot of them undefeated. A lot of them on the hard, well, nearly all of them, aren't they, on the hard road as the B side. Do
he?
you know what I
Yeah,
mean? We can't knock him, can we? Or his attitude and how he applies himself. He's what we want in a champion, isn't he?
absolutely. And you know what, Russ? I can't remember another foreign fighter that's been as loved by the UK fans as
Yeah,
Usyk. I love him. If he fights anyone in the UK, I'd want him to win.
yeah,
I just think he's brilliant. He's a great advert for the sport. He relies on skill against all these big guys. I really like him. He carries himself well. You never hear him bad mouthing anyone. He's a top sportsman and a hell of
Do
a
you,
fighter.
do you feel, Kurt, that people, I mean, the Dubois fights, they were saying, oh, they'll not do many tickets and all that, and they did. Do you feel it's because people who love boxing are saying, "Well, do you know what? I want to see this guy here. What? Because we're not seeing guys like we see one every 25 years, don't we? So Lennox Lewis, and he's like the next one, isn't he? People are going to watch him because they just want to say they saw greatness, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And when was the last actual great fighter that we had on our shows? It was probably Lomachenko, was it?
Lomachenko,
When he boxed Luke Campbell,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and Usyk's been the one after that. So yeah,
yeah,
if Usyk ever boxes in the UK again, I'd love to go and see him because
yeah,
I mean, how many fights has he got left? How many more does he want to have? Who knows? But yeah, listen, he's a special talent, isn't he?
yeah, yeah. Uh, Derek Chisora and Dylan White, where do they go now, Kurt?
Probably fight each other. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Mm. Well,
I
that's
don't
what
know
they're
what happened
saying,
with it
aren't they?
because wasn't Derek Chisora meant to be having his 50th fight? I don't know what happened with that. But if we're going to be 100% honest, um, it probably only makes sense for them to fight each other.
Yeah,
I, I,
yeah,
I I didn't like seeing Dillian White go out in 15 seconds or whatever it was against
totally.
Moses. Once you get to a certain age, you should only fight other kids of a certain age. It's a young man's sport. You don't want to be going in with 22, 23-year olds that are bigger, stronger, faster, hungrier. And I
Yeah,
think against each other, it makes sense. Do a trilogy with Joyce as well. Chuck Joyce in there. Let Dillian box Joyce. Let Dillian box Chisora. I think they're the only fights out there that make sense, really.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, that's the only money fight and the only sellable fight for them to win it, really. You couldn't put them in with some no-name guy or somebody who's got a ranking, but they're not known to fans. Caballel and Chisora wouldn't sell as good, or Caballel, Dylan White wouldn't sell as good as Dylan White, Chisora, because they've got that history, haven't they?
And Caballel will go right through both of them too.
On the same night.
Yeah, 100%. It's not even competitive.
Do you feel that Caballel is like an afterthought for people now? He's like put out to pasture, a bit like they did with Luis Ortiz when he were at Matchroom and Zhang.
Well, I think with Caballel, you've just got to see how many people actually mention his name.
Nobody.
Nobody, because nobody wants that smoke. You know
Yeah.
how many Caballel's like an old school. I would say like a 90s heavyweight.
Yeah.
You know, he reminds me of
Ray Mercer.
Ray, yeah, who's got a consistent body attack. Tough kid, comes, puts it on him. You know, he's very, very well rounded. Ray Mercer's a great shout, to be fair, Russ. He's very Ray Mercer like. And I think outside of Usyk, and I think it actually caused Usyk a load of problems.
Yeah.
I'd probably put him at number two.
Yeah.
But he does need that win that cements him as one of the big boys.
Well, he took Derek Chisora apart, didn't he, 7 years ago? Took him apart.
Yeah, and you know what? Everyone was saying, "Oh, Chisora's finished," because no one really knew who Caballel was. So I'd like to see Caballel Bacoli. That'd be some fight.
Yeah.
I know everyone keeps saying, Bacoli's got to get in shape. I'm fed up of hearing it, to be honest. That the least thing he can do is be in shape, and he's got to be in shape for 2026 as Bacoli. If he ain't, he's just going to miss the boat with so many big fights.
Yeah, he's got problems with his. Well, he has massive portions from what I'm hearing online. His meals and that, and he eats at wrong time at night and all that, and not good, is it?
No. I like to say I've had Adrian in again with Bacoli. They've done. He's done 2 training camps with Bacoli, and he trains like a monster.
Yeah,
he trains, mate. He spars hard. Then he goes on the bag, and then they're doing circuits. He trains, mate, and then he runs. So what he's putting in his mouth, he must be out of control, because he's not work shy at all when he's in the gym. So he just needs to sort out what he's putting in his mouth.
Yeah. Terence Crawford's done a video. Did you see it? Have a little look.
Yeah, seen it. Yeah.
He's gone in very heavy on the WBC and pulled them up about all sorts. Because they're going on about 450,000 that Sullivan's saying they're owed. So he's took the belt off him, and they're now saying that it weren't an undisputed when he fought Canelo, because they're pulling their belt out. But the fans know it were, don't they? So what do you think?
Yeah, I think with the way Dana White's trying to do things, trying to kind of kneecap the governing bodies, I'm not sure it's going to work, but I understand his method behind it as well, because they cause so many problems. The sanction fees are a joke, to be honest. Oh. It doesn't sit right with me where everyone, once a fighter's fought, you've got 7 or 8 people dipping their hands in, getting their little bit here, a little bit there. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, isn't it? But without the fighters, I don't understand how these sanctioning bodies have become so powerful.
Kurt, can you just explain to them fans who don't know, if a fighter gets £1 million purse, can you just explain what he will take home after tax, just so people understand how it works?
Well, it pays. It depends. But once you get up to that limit, it depends what they pay the trainer. But they can pay the trainer up to 10%. So let's say you've got a good, honourable fighter that respects his trainer and he's been with him a long time. So he gets £1 million. He sticks to his word and gives them the 10%, which, by the way, is very few and far between. 2 or 3% of fighters will do that. But let's say that's 100 grand. Then the management company can take anything up to 25%. So let's say they take 25%. That's another 250. So that's 350 come off the top. Let's say he spent 50 grand in training camp, sparring partners, X, Y, and Z. That's 400 quid. another 50 grand in, say, sanctioning fees. That's 450 grand. He's then probably paying 40% tax. He's probably coming out with 250 grand.
Thank you very much. Well, I had an argument with somebody in comment sections. You know what? In the end, I thought, because obviously I used to see all breakdowns, and I said, God, is that all he's going to get, Dennis? Dennis said, yeah, but look at all that. They don't understand who's putting money up and all that. You know how it works, Kurt, don't you? And I used to be like, wow. So, and I'd think back to certain persons that I know what people have got, and I thought, well, but I always used to think he was a millionaire, but he's all right, but he's not got mega millions. People don't understand, do they? What gets took off them? It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is, and especially once you get to, I suppose, to the highest level, there's more money around, and
Oh,
and the fighter probably ain't got a clue what he's supposed to be getting. Listen,
no,
I've had people say to me before um, about when it comes to purses, well, just tell him he's getting that. Just tell him he's getting that. And I'm like, no chance. Give me a full breakdown of his purse, and then
yeah,
I email it to my fighter, forward the
yeah,
email on. So there's
yeah,
no one will ever be able to say, oh yeah, well, you said I was getting 10 grand, but really I've got 35.
yeah,
But I've had it myself. I've had people approach me and say, listen, just tell him he's getting that. He won't know any different. I'm like, I know he won't, but I will. And
yeah,
I'm a fighter. I'm a former fighter. You know,
yeah,
I'd never take off a fighter's plate any more than I think I've earned, or I wouldn't take anything off his plate that he didn't know about either.
yeah, yeah. A lot of that was on though, didn't it, Kurt?
Oh, big
God.
time, yeah.
The WBC. I've put Crusher Ben number 1 ranked, mandatory now for Barrios, and he's not fought for 4 years at welterweight. How's that work? That I mean, what's going on here?
I mean, it's unbelievable, really, isn't it?
You couldn't make
It
it up, could you?
it is. I mean, do you know what I feel sorry for? I feel sorry for the other welterweights that are ranked with the WBC that have been toiling away, you know, waiting for a chance. You know, it go, you win this one and we'll make you mandatory X, Y, and Z, and it's, or you win this one or win the next one. They'll have been waiting forever and ever and ever. They finally think, I'm going to get my chance. And then along comes Conor Bentley straight into number one. It stinks, doesn't it? It don't make sense. Um, it loses a lot of credibility with fans who are really struggling to understand the sport.
Well, Crawford
Um,
just spelt it out. He didn't name Conor Ben, but he was going on about people going to top at rankings, mandatories from nowhere, wasn't he?
yeah, it loses all credibility. But I mean, it's boxing, isn't it? The more time you spend in boxing, the more that you just end up saying over and over again, it's boxing. The amount of times I've just said it's boxing, and it covers so much stuff. There's no rules to this sport. It's it's the absolute wild west. Um, yeah, it stinks, doesn't it? But it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, what's mourning gonna do about it?
No,
Nothing.
there's no what you can do about it. It's they call it lobbying, don't they?
Yeah, they all go over to the WBC conventions and that, don't they? Big Ron was there, wasn't he? I've heard.
Big Ron were there with Scott Brunt.
What was
Joe
Big
G
Ron
were
doing?
there.
Selling? Was he selling scrap metal, Big Ron? Because he hadn't got any fighters. Who was he lobbying for?
Big Ron were trying to get some import deals for his scrap because he imports it, doesn't he? Certain precious metals. He'll have been over there handing cards out. Big Ron, he's always there or thereabouts. You worry, Joe. I've got some at bubbling. Gil Lawrence, my best, and Jack Massey. I can imagine Big
Yeah,
Ron.
he must have been selling scrap metal because, like you said, he ain't got any fighters.
uh, Women's boxing, Kurt. It seems to have
Yes.
disappeared, doesn't it?
Well, like everything, Russ, supply and demand, isn't it?
Yeah,
And people are not interested in it, and it's not doing the numbers. It's not making the promoters money. So they've scrapped it. That's the
yeah.
bottom line. There's no two ways about it. They're
Mm.
not generating the views. They're not generating the finances into the promoter's back pocket. So they've got rid of it, really.
Yeah. Have you got Johnny Fisher to win this weekend, Kurt, aka Big Elmer?
Yeah, I don't know who he's fighting. I think he's had someone pull out, hasn't he?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah,
see that this morning.
I actually seen it on my Instagram yesterday. I think he's had a late replacement. So kids come in at who's 7-0, 8-0. But I don't think. Listen, he'll win, won't he? They're not putting him in there to get beat. So it'll be interesting to see him. I think what happened with Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen will be a blessing in disguise for him. I think he's got a couple. Yeah, because I think he's got a couple of 10, 12 rounders under his belt. He's learned where maybe he needed to improve. He's had a little bit of a change around in training camp, which will freshen him up a little bit. Sometimes a change is as good as a rest, as they say. And he's young, isn't he? He's got potential. He's powerful. He can whack. And the one thing the Dave Allen fight showed as well is he's tough. You put them three things into a heavyweight, then you've got half a chance of doing something. I think
people are a bit too. Sorry, go on.
People are a bit too quick to write him off, in my opinion. Let's give him a chance. I like him. Yeah. I like the whole family.
Yeah.
I like and you know what as well? When's Johnny Fisher ever come out and said he's going to be unified heavyweight champion of the world? He hasn't. No. You've just got a kid who's doing his best. And I actually like watching him fight because when he's fighting, you kind of know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
He can have a fight, Russ.
Yeah, I know, because he's a big old lump. He's fighting a guy 7-0, age 29 from Slovakia. There ain't even a picture of the guy's face, but he's 7-0. He's knocked 5 out. Maybe that Thomas Salek 22-6. That's his best win. The others are just not losing records. It should be a quick blowout for young Fisher. This one, I think.
Yeah, but I think he's a really good addition back to the heavyweight scene. Below the elite ones, there's a nice little batch bubbling now, isn't there?
Yeah, him and Rhino are probably going to have a third one. Rhino's not going to leave that money on the table if he loses a couple more. That fight's always going to be there, isn't it, for Rhino? There's Solomon Dakras. That's a good fight for him, isn't there? There's Adelaide.
Yeah. I like that Matty Harris as well. I like him coming through, very heavy-handed. Apparently, he chinned Moses Atamu in sparring, heard.
Yeah, that's all right, isn't it?
From a very good source. Yeah, so, he's very heavy-handed. He's 6'8". He's massive. I've seen him in person. He is a lump. I really like Matty Harris. I think he can cause a few problems coming through.
Yeah. What do you think to the BBC show, CURT, overall, and young Ben Shalom? Because it looks to me like he's been whipping boy for top 2 promoters, done he, for a few years now since he had that Sky deal. Because he come from nowhere, didn't he? But he seems to be getting attacked every day in, day out by Eddie and Frank Smith. Bricktop doesn't so much go after him, but the other two do. Do you think it's getting a bit tiresome now because he's only a bit of a kid, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good look, if I'm honest, Russ. I was I talking to about this the other day? It might have been, I don't know if it was Adrian or not, but it just comes across as bullying.
Yeah,
that's how it looks to me. I don't really like it. I don't see there's any need for it, really. Ben Shalom and Eddie Hearn are not really in competition, are they? They're kind of doing the same game, but they're doing separate things.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good look for Eddie. I think Eddie's better than that, isn't he? Eddie shouldn't be kind of picking on someone. I don't think it's a good look. It's like me bullying you, Russ, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's not a good look.
Not for fucking you if I come after you with that, kid. I've still got it for 55, No,
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it.
I'll be doing my Big Ron impressions. He's like, come here, let me just show you this that I showed Clinton and Jamie McDonald. Turn your head, Russ, turn your head. Go to the side. I showed Clinton that. I'm like, Ron Lyle.
Hey, when's your fight with Big Ron happening?
Big Ron. When Big Ron sorts it out, we'll get it on Fight Zone. It'll be the biggest selling show he's ever put on.
Yeah. The pay-per-view, that.
Me and Big Ron going at it, L for leather in Fukers.
Max on undercard.
Max on undercard against your man, Michael Webster.
Yeah, we'll take that one.
Hey?
Max can't box in the UK, though. He can't get a license.
I know. It's a shame, isn't it?
Well, not really. He's garbage.
It says that's not nice. Max loves you.
It's only the truth, isn't it? He's garbage. He can't box in the UK.
Oh God.
See that last kid that he boxed? Did you see that kid he boxed, that Italian?
Yeah, Dennis got him out the bar.
That was painful viewing, that one.
Max, Dennis, stop telling Max. That's got some at the Max. I'm telling you, that's got some.
Tell you what, he's got diabetes.
That's awful, Curse. Christian, is it Christian and Billy and Shiraz? They're going to go at it for Crawford's belt, the WBC belt. Do you think the super middleweight division's lost a bit of its sparkle?
Well, I don't know if Crawford stays in it because he's a top operator, isn't he? So that's what I mean. They've made this fight now for the WBC, but it's got no weight behind it because Crawford's the man.
Yeah.
Crawford's the man. He's got all the belts, you know. So really, I'm not unless anyone beats Crawford, it doesn't carry any weight for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know what this other kid's like. I like Chisora. I think he's very good, very talented, got power, skill. I like him. I ain't got a clue about who he's fighting, but unless he's fighting Crawford, then it's not a title fight.
Yeah. Are we all right for another 20 minutes, Kurt, on part 2?
Yeah, I'll invoice you, mate. Don't worry.
All right. Give me 5 minutes and I'll send you a link, yeah?
No worries.
All right, see you in 5. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. We were joined by Curtis Woodhouse, legendary footballer and professional boxing champion. We'll see you on part 2. Pop, pop, bang. Peace out. Might need to clean my teeth today at some point instead of just mouthwash.